Dr. Robin Williams, and I just wanted to chat with people today about getting the most out of your practicum or internship experience. I had just started my internship about a year ago, and even though I have my doctorate already, the program I'm in right now is a master's in clinical counseling. And of course, even if you want to get licensed, once you get done with your schooling, they do require that you have some practical experience. And that's what the internship and practicum is all about, is getting that experience. But the first step is to find out where you want to start and find a site that's going to meet your needs. I know with myself, I'll talk about my personal experience. I went to a couple of different sites and talked to them and almost interviewed not only with them, but interviewed them to see if they'd be the right fit. I finally found the one place after 3 tries. They were the third one. And one of the big things for me when you're looking for a site to meet your needs is making sure it's in a location that is easy for you to get to and not going to take a lot of time. I'm here in Denver, Colorado, and here in Denver, Colorado, we can get some snow. You never know when it's going to happen, and it may only last for a brief period of time, but it can really mess up traffic. So you want to make sure that the location that you choose to be the location you go to is one that's easy for you to get to. If you work another job like I do right now, you want to make sure that you have the time that you're able to get there and not running late, because if you are set up to get to your site, you are going to be able to see clients, and you don't want to run late when you're seeing those clients. Another thing too, when you're looking at the site, is the type of clients that they attract or have there. I know for myself, when I interviewed at the 3 different sites, they had 3 different types of clientele. And the site that I'm currently at now has clientele that I'm very comfortable seeing, I'm very happy to see, and they're people I definitely want to work with. And that's going to make a big difference when you're looking at your site and you're starting to see clients. Are these people that you want to see and work with and have the different needs that you want to work with those types of people? You also want to check and see what are the objectives of the site. Again, the site I'm currently at, they have objectives that line up with ones that I'm passionate about and want to work with people. They see clients from 7 to 77. That's what I tell people all the time. And I'm able to see people from all different aspects, all different walks of life at that one site. And that makes a lot of sense to me. And it's something I want to do and make sure that I can do that. And of course, another thing to look at when you're looking at the site is the size of it. I've been to a couple of different places since I started doing my internship, and some of them are huge. So many clients, so many people working there in different positions. The site that I chose, that I'm currently at, is a fairly small site. We only have 8 therapists or office staff, and that's it. So it's a very small site, but it makes it very comfortable, and you can get to know the people a lot better and a lot faster, and also know what their mission statement and what they're set out to do and what they want to do. And that all plays into it as well. Again, the next thing is choosing the location. Is it in a distance from your home that's going to be easy to get to, an area that you're comfortable with? Again, I can speak on practical experience, and I went to one site to interview just to see what it was about. And the first thing I noticed when I pulled up is, gosh, where do I park? There's no parking here. And they were a site that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And if I were to go there and work and it's, say, nighttime, where would I park? And it was in an area of town that's maybe not the safest area. And I was like, oh, I just don't know. I would love to see the clients. I'd love to work for this organization. But am I going to put myself in a position that might be not safe for me, and do I really want to do something like that? So that's another big thing to look at. Another thing is access to transportation. I know with myself, I have a vehicle. I can drive to and from the facility. But if it were really bad weather or something were to happen, I've made sure to note that there's bus stops right outside the facility and what time those buses run, so that I know worst case scenario, I can take a bus to or from the facility, and I can still be there for my clients and still see them and get the work done. And the next thing is the travel time. How long is it going to take you to get there? I'm very fortunate that this site that I chose is 5 minutes from my home. So anytime they say, hey, we've got a client that needs to see you, I know I can get there quickly and easily in order to help them out and help my client out as well. And that too is something to really consider when you're looking at your location. Once you're there, meet the other people. Um, when I first went in there and started out, the first thing I did was I interviewed with the woman that owns the facility and the office manager and talked to both of them. And, they had set aside an hour to meet with me, and it turned into 2 hours because we just got to talking and there was just a connection right off. And that made a big difference. Now that I've been there almost a year, I've made sure to meet all the therapists there, all the office staff there, and get to know them and a little bit about them. You're there working with them, so you want to know these people and understand them as well as the clients that you're working with as in this practice too. Learn what their policies are. What do they expect from their interns? What do they expect from their employees? What is it that the practice that you're at wants to achieve? Learn what their mission statement is and their goals. That's one thing I asked when I went in to be interviewed by them, if you will, but also I felt like I was interviewing them at the same time. I wanted to make sure that not only was it a good fit for them, but a good fit for me, because that's what's really important. You want to make sure it's a good fit for you. That way you will get more out of it than if you just go into any place blindly. So ask them some questions too, and those questions could be as simple as what are the goals of the agency and what is their mission statement? What are they trying to accomplish? The next thing is opportunities. Anything you can do to get involved. This is a true story, and I have to tell it to everyone because I think it's funny. The first day I was there in my internship, in my practicum, I'd been there all of 45 minutes. And the office manager walked in and told the site supervisor that one of the therapists that was scheduled to go with her the following week to a seminar at one of the psychiatric hospitals just said he wasn't going to be able to make it. And I immediately said, what day is it? What time is it? Where is it at? May I go? And they just looked at me and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I being too forward? Am I being too pushy? And she said, no, absolutely not. If you want to have something, if you want to get something, you have to ask for it. And by her saying that and by me asking, I was able to take advantage of that opportunity, go to the psychiatric hospital, meet people that work there, network with them, learn things about how their facility runs, because the end of the day, we may have to refer people on to that facility, and they may refer people to us that have been in an inpatient situation or an intensive outpatient situation and now need to have somebody to do therapy with them. So just it's all about getting involved and taking advantage of those opportunities. Those opportunities can give you networking opportunities, seminars you can attend, and for myself, I've already taken advantage of 3 of those networking and seminar opportunities, and as a result, I was given the opportunity again to be able to give a presentation on the subject matter to the other therapists in the office so that they could go ahead and get continuing education credits. The other therapists are all licensed and they're great mentors. And having met them and talked to them and formed professional relationships, I felt I was able to give something back as well. And that's doing the continuing education credits for them so that they can get what they need at the same time. So just take advantage of those opportunities as they come up. You'll be surprised. Nobody thinks you're being pushy at all. Again, the other therapists. Who are they? Find out more about them, what their experiences, their background, their skills. And if you're able to observe them in sessions, take advantage of that as well. The therapists that work at the facility where I'm currently at, the woman that owns the practice, she is also a doctor. She's licensed. She has great background, great experience. She has so many skills. It's phenomenal. And just being able to sit and observe her and learn some of the skills, learn some techniques was the best thing I could have ever had happen for me. I've had the chance to also sit in with other therapists, and a lot of them come from varying backgrounds. One of the therapists worked at Children's Hospital for 20 years. She has some great experience, especially when it comes to young people and children, and something for her to be able to give. And just being able to sit in with her and observe how she does it makes all the difference in the world. Um, the last thing is, what forms do they use? What assessments do they use? What tricks do they have, if you will? Um, like I said, I've gotten to see clients from 7 to 77, and a lot of times dealing with the younger kids, just getting them to talk, it can be difficult. But I found that some of these forms that the other therapists have that they've made ready for me have given me the chance to have better tools that I can use and work with when I'm dealing with the younger children to help form a relationship and get more information from them so I can use that to help them out because that's really what it's all about. One of the other therapists in the office is also EMDR certified, and I got to talking to her about that and hearing how she went through the process. And I'm happy to say that starting in January, I'll start taking courses too, so I can become EMDR certified as well, because that's one more tool or technique that I see as being very valuable when it comes to working with clients. So just get to know those other therapists in there. They have a lot of experience and background that can really help you. The gal that is EMDR certified now has told me she's willing to help me out in any way once I get started in those courses. And that makes a huge difference too. Supervision. Who is your supervisor? What are their strengths and what do they use? Again, the site supervisor where I am owns the facility. She's an awesome woman. She has great life experience. She's worked other places in the past until she got her doctorate, and she set up the practice about 13 years ago. She has so many great strengths. She's worked with kids for a long time. And just being able to sit in with her and see how she does all these things has really helped me. It's shown me different ways to work with children, to talk to them, to get them to open up and feel comfortable, and it really is beneficial. Another thing is the different therapies. Like I said, one of the therapists is EMDR certified, and she uses that all the time. Most of the therapies used there are cognitive behavioral, but there's other people using different techniques and different therapies. And sitting in with them and seeing what they use really helps. Working with the supervisor again, she is just a phenomenal woman, and she does a lot of marriage counseling, something I knew nothing about, have not even attempted at this point. But being able to sit with her and see how she works with couples together helps me when I have an individual come in and they're talking about a spouse and not really knowing how to communicate perhaps with their spouse. So that just gives me a lot more confidence. that I can talk to them and give them some ideas when we're talking in a session and just going through things. Again, going back to the supervisor, what is their past work experience? Where have they been? How long have they been in practice? How long have they been doing this? Are they somebody fairly new? And perhaps you won't learn as much from that person as you could someone else who has more experience. And then finally, the assessments. My supervisor at this particular location has been great when it comes to that. She's worked with me on 90-day treatment plans. She's worked with me on a master treatment plan. From day one, she's just been very helpful and very open, sharing different forms and different tools for someone to use so that they can get the most out of their experience and just continue to learn. Every day is a new learning experience because every person you see has different problems, different issues, and different ways of looking at things. So you never know what you'll encounter. Again, I go back to the outside opportunities. There's so many there, and I'm just so fortunate at this location that people get a hold of her all the time, get a hold of the practice all the time, and invite us to come and attend luncheons and seminars so that we can network with each other. I've been to several psychiatric hospitals in the Denver area and practices, and all they want to do is talk and see what people's strengths are so that they can refer people to someone else for the therapy portion and the counseling. That's what's going on where I am. We don't dispense medications, but there are psychiatrists and doctors who do. But then they're looking for someone that they can refer a client to who's on medications that may need someone to talk to them and do a therapy. Same with the seminars. They're so informative. The one that I first went to at the psychiatric hospital, the first week I was there, was about digital addiction. And just knowing more about something along those lines has really been helpful because I see a lot of young people that have problems when it comes to video games and computer games and just wanting to be online all the time and how it can impact them. And having gone to that seminar is just, again, another learning experience and another tool that you can use as you go through your practice and through your practicum and internship to learn more. So that's all I really had on this topic of getting the most out of your practicum or internship. So that's all I had, and that's where I'll leave it at this point unless anyone has any questions.
Does anybody have any questions they'd like to share in the chat? I just want to say that this is such great pragmatic information. You know, I think probably when you're preparing for practicum, you might think more about the actual counseling aspect of it, but this would be great to formulate your questions when you are, like you said, you're interviewing places. And so just great information. I don't see any questions in the chat. Robin, thank you so much. And please, everybody, remember this will be recorded so you can go back, take a look at the PowerPoint slides, and really get some good ideas moving forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sally.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.